that will likely keep us partly cloudy, 18 degrees by noon, up to about 22 by 3 o'clock. So that's all the more we can muster now. As of right now, the high for today is 20 degrees. That happened at midnight last night, so that's what we need to get above this afternoon, and I think we will, barely, but we should get there. And then overnight tonight, watch how the numbers fall off a little bit. By 7 o'clock, we're down in the teens. By 10, we're right around 10 degrees, and I think we can fall off into the single digits for one more night. Just kind of bounce around a little bit. South breeze, increasing clouds, likely going to help to hold the number up a little bit, but we should be able to fall off at least into the single digits before we climb on Friday. Look at that Friday, starting off around 741 for the high, so that's a big jump. There will be a wind chill to talk about in the morning tomorrow, but by the afternoon, that's a lot better the way it looks. And you can see 41 on Friday, 37 on Saturday. So the numbers look better after today. It is possible that today could be the coldest day we have for the rest of the month.
Wow.
Everybody's looking and doing math right now.
I know. So we're looking at the 3-day, and you had breezy, breezy. So the wind's going to be a factor, too.
Yeah, never strong, but it's annoying, I guess is the best way to put it. Because when it's cold, you don't want any wind. That just makes it worse. Let's talk about the direction anyway over the next couple of days. Today it's out of the north as we make our way into the afternoon, I think.
Hello.
Come back over. There we go. All right, northwest wind gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour. By 4 or 5 o'clock, we're in that 15 to 20 mile per hour range. Then overnight tonight, it's pretty calm. Notice it flips back out of the south then on Friday, and that should help warm us up. Teens, then eventually gusts up in the 20 to 30 mile per hour range by 2, 3, 4 o'clock. Then they'll relax a little bit into the afternoon, or I should say late afternoon into the evening. By Saturday morning, they're back out of the northwest again, and those could spike and go to 25, maybe 30 miles per hour on Saturday. So that's today, tomorrow, and Saturday, where the wind is noticeable, not damaging, but boy, when it's cold, it adds a little bit. And you'll notice 22 for the high today. We got 30s and 40s beyond that. Even a couple of days trying to get up to 50 degrees next week, and not a lot of cold air to be found for the rest of the month. So I think if we get through today, tomorrow morning's a little cold, the rest of the month not looking bad.
All right.
So
it's surprising, right?
I know. Still no snow either to be found.
You know, it's I think tied for the 5th driest January we've had. It's just
wild.
Lack of moisture in general.
A lot of places.
Wow. All right, in the meantime, we're hoping things go smoothly on people's commute today.
Yeah, you mentioned that dusting of snow that we had come through, so that's something I'm watching this morning, and it's particularly something you want to keep in mind if you're heading through any neighborhoods, side streets, you're going on any of those interchanges. Some of those ramps could have a couple slick spots in addition to that. So you could see a little bit of that's on 144th that we're looking at. Now, that is within an area that is blocked off at this point. Keep in mind you've got limited travel as you're heading southbound on 144th at this point. But some of those neighborhoods, side streets, you could have a few areas that have some of that. So keep that in mind for the early morning. I've also been watching a few areas that have been running slowly. Perhaps not even related to that dusting, but Fort right near 680 as you're going both directions, really showing up with some consistent delays at this point. So that's an area that's struggling a bit. Of course, you've got some of our busier intersections, 90th and Dodge, showing some delays as you're going eastbound approaching that intersection. And then had a brief slowdown I-80 as you were making your way westbound just past 42nd or so. Interestingly enough, eastbound, the exit ramp really is backing up at this point. So that's something to watch in the early going as well. A lot of our main roads are doing pretty well. You've got some slowing that's showing up here as you're making your way there along Maple. You're getting close to the Benson area. Watch for some of those that are in place. And 370 as you're going around to 168th or so with some delays eastbound. But a lot of green on the map. Hopefully that means a good commute is on the way. We'll keep you posted through the morning, though, of course, if any other issues pop up.
All right, Jarrett, thanks. In the meantime, among the dozens of bills filed in the last day or so at the Unicam, LB 556. Now, this would lower the age of a child can be detained for a violent crime. Now, right now that age is 14. The bill would make it 12. LB 556 was introduced by Senator Merv Reapy of Ralston at the request of Governor Jim Pillen. The president of the Omaha Police Officers Association supports that bill.
Some of these 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds who commit heinous first-degree murder crimes They need the ability to unpack that onion, peel that onion, and figure out what is actually going on with this youth. If we don't have the ability to detain them and get them those services that they need, we're just releasing them back into the wild where they are already living unchecked.
Opponents of the bill say it's regressive and doesn't address the root cause of the child's behavior.
A Metro resident is picking up the pieces this morning after their home was destroyed in a fire. Omaha fire crews responded to the area of 44th and S. That's where they found heavy smoke at the home. Fortunately, no one was injured in the fire, but the home is a total loss. Investigators determined the fire was caused by combustible materials that were too close to a wood-burning stove.
Omaha Public Schools speaking out on a potential immigration raid.
Their policy to keep kids safe, plus more weather and traffic when we return. All right, welcome back, everybody. Many folks waking up to a light dusting of snow on their driveways or in their grass. It's nice, but we really need so much more than that.
Yeah, top 5 driest Januaries, and we've had very little moisture, very little snowfall so far to start the season. We're still number 2 on this list, but let me tell you, if we get to Saturday without any snow, or through Saturday without any snow, which right now it looks like we will, we're going to go to number 1 on this list for the least snowfall to start a season. And then we just see how long we hold. The potential snowfall from now all the way through next week. Yeah, I'm just running this to next weekend. That's it. There's nothing. It is a very dry stretch here, folks. And this takes us almost to all the way to the end of the month, I should say. Maybe something towards next weekend we'll watch, but that's off to the southeast as of right now. So there's nothing as far as snowfall goes. It is plenty cold out there right now. We're down in the single digits, 7 to about 9 degrees over much of the area. Feels like temperatures are below 0, especially from the river to the east where we have some double-digit below 0 readings. And that's what we're going to be talking about this morning. First alert to that. Hitting you in the face as you start off the day today. We'll get those wind chills back up near 10 by later on this afternoon. Wind gusts today this morning could hit 25 miles per hour, but they back off into the afternoon. So that's good news there. By the afternoon, nothing stronger than about 15 miles per hour. So we did have a little dusting of snow move through as with these thicker clouds you see down here near Kansas City. That rolled through about 10 o'clock last night. A few flurries off to the west trying to hang on right now. And there's not going to be much to worry about with that. But the clouds moving through, I think temperatures can warm a little today, but overall it's a colder air mass that moved in, so 22 is the best we can do. Colder east, warmer west, relatively, none of this is warm by any means. So by 5 o'clock, we're down near 20. And then overnight tonight, we fall through the teens and should be able to dip down into the single digits. It may happen between, say, 10 o'clock and midnight tonight. And then as the south wind picks up and clouds move in, we warm a little bit into tomorrow morning. So we'll start off near 7, climb to about 41 for the afternoon high. Yeah, 41 on Friday looks really good, but the southwest wind's going to help us get there, so keep that in mind. Those wind chills still in play to be below 0 tomorrow morning, and then they pick back up into the afternoon. Wind chills in the 30s with temperatures in the 40s. We'll take that in January. You can see a lot of 30s Saturday and Sunday. And then early next week, our first chance, I think, of hitting 50, our next chance anyway, would be Monday. Southwest wind will play a factor. Right now, I think pretty easily about 48 or so for the high there.
And that
sound amazing.
close, anything close to 50 sounds great. And that's not the only day, too, that could be pretty nice.
Yeah, all next week looks phenomenal. 40s at the least. I think you watch Monday and Wednesday. Yesterday, it looked like Tuesday would probably be the best shot to hit 50. That's kind of slid to more Monday now. We'll watch Wednesday to see if we can as well. There's some 40s on the way, warmer than average into the early part of February. Looks to be the story from Omaha and down to the south, and unfortunately no clear signs of any precipitation. Very, very indicative of a La Nina pattern, but usually that'll end up drier than average. There's just, it's hard to fathom having no snow in a pattern like this. Usually 1 or 2 passes by, just the law of averages, and
Nothing.
got nothing out of this so far.
I will also say, talking about the cold temperatures does not help with us feeling warm in here.
We just dropped like 20 degrees.
It just got
in
really
studio.
cold.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's happening, but we're freezing.
Oh, my God.
All right, we have an update on the traffic.
Yeah, and as we're picking things up, we're seeing many spots moving pretty well. Let's give you a view of what it looks like at one of the busiest intersections in Nebraska. It's 90th and West Dodge, and there's a lot of vehicles there, but they're getting through the intersection in pretty good shape as we're starting off our day. Give you also a look at some of the other things that I'm keeping a close eye on. That includes 84th. Yesterday, this was a nightmare trying to get to I-80 on northbound 84th, and had been holding up pretty well. Now as we're picking things up, you can see we're starting to get those delays extending back into Ralston. Looking at 60th, it's also pretty slow, so you don't really have a fantastic option. Remember, 72nd's closed right near I-80, so either of those routes are going to be slow for you. Just leave a little extra time. Slowing down on eastbound Dodge as you're getting around 144th as well. Other spots in the metro seem like they're moving pretty well. Keep in mind those neighborhoods, some of those side streets could have a couple of slick spots from some of that overnight snow. But if you're careful with that and planning accordingly with some of the things I just brought up, you should have a pretty smooth commute.
All right, we like the sound of that, Jared. Thank you. Well, the Omaha Public School District says it is not making any changes in how it handles immigration during the Trump administration.
In 2017, OPS adopted a policy that would not use any resources solely for helping authorities arrest undocumented people. Now, about 45% of OPS families speak another language other than English in the home, and 26% of students are English learners.
We want them to feel welcome and supported in our schools. And if this affects them, then it affects our ability to educate them.
OPS says it will review the policy to see if any updates to the language are needed. A Nebraska state senator is looking to join forces with other states for a new constitutional amendment.
That's right. Lauren Lippincott introduced Legislative Resolution 21. Now, this calls for a congressional term limits amendment to the U.S. Constitution. According to a poll, 81% of likely voters in Nebraska support term limits in Congress. Lippincott says this will allow for a fresh flow of ideas in Washington.
I think it's good to have term limits because what it does is it brings about fresh water. We know what happens whenever you have a body of water that does not have an inflow or an outflow. It's like the Dead Sea over in Israel. They become salty.
Now, if 34 state legislatures pass similar resolutions and approve the amendment's language, it must be ratified by 38 states to be added to the Constitution.
Well, a new Oreo flavor is being released, and this one has a pretty fun twist.
Sure does. Find out which celebrity teamed up with the popular cookie brand when we return. Welcome back, everybody. Oreo is partnering with singer Post Malone for its next limited edition cookie.
Yeah, salted caramel and shortbread flavored creams are going to be sandwiched between a chocolate cookie and a golden cookie. The cookies are engraved with designs inspired by him, and including vinyl records and a guitar pick. Cool. The cookies go on sale nationwide in about 2 weeks. So there was the Lady Gaga Oreo, and now there's the Post Malone Oreo.
Yeah.
I bet those are like
very unique, like Post Malone.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I bet those are his like favorite flavors or something.
Well, and you think about his career, he's done some kind of hip hop, rap influence stuff. He has that country album he released last year.
Yeah.
He's done pop music, so having a lot of stuff going on, that's kind of just his thing.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
We just want to taste the
I
cookies.
suppose when he started out on the internet, he's like, man, I hope I get an Oreo someday.
Probably not. But now he's happy he has one, I'm sure. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. Of course, you can watch it here on streaming or over the air.
All right, have a great start to your Thursday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Thursday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. Let's get an update on the roads this morning before we head out. Here's Jarrett Lansford.
And we are seeing some areas that are slowing down a fair bit, and that includes Dodge. You're looking right near 156. Look at all the brake lights that are happening as you're getting just past 156 heading eastbound. So you want to make sure that you are using extra caution, being ready for those delays that are showing up. Here's what it's looking like. You can see that extends all the way back toward 168. So one of our problem spots. We've also got Blair High that's checking up as you're approaching 680 in the early going. A little slow there as Sorensen's approaching Blair High as well. Watch some of the neighborhood streets. Could be a couple of slick spots from some of that overnight light dusting of snow that we had. It's also pretty cold out there, Rusty.
Yeah, without a doubt, down in the single digits there. We had a little dusting of snow 10, 11 o'clock hour last night, and what happened is behind it, cold air rushed in. We're at 7 with a feels like number of 10 below. 14 feels like 0 in Lincoln. So yeah, dealing with another cold one out there to start off the day, and you can see where most of those temperatures are pretty cold. Take the wider view, and yeah, it's flirting with 0 anyway in west central Iowa out the door. And wind gusts at their strongest this morning, unfortunately. Could hit 20 to 25 miles per hour during the morning. They'll back off some in the afternoon, and then overnight shouldn't be much of a problem, but the wind chill forecast today gets you up near 10 at best this afternoon, because the high is only 22 this afternoon. Could be the coldest we have for the rest of the month, though. Aaron?
Well, a bill introduced at the Unicam would lower the age a kid can be detained for a violent crime. Right now, that age is 14. The bill would make it 12. Opponents of the bill say it's regressive.
It is 7:28. We're back with another update for you in 25 minutes. We'll see you then.
Was it in there?